I've met most businesses who think they have a lead problem. But what if the real issue is maybe that you're getting the leads, you're just maybe losing them? So in this episode, I'm going to show you where that's happening and why adding more tools won't fix it, and also how to clean up your lead flow without rebuilding your entire system. Because once you see this, you can't unsee it. Welcome back to the Bumper Blueprint podcast. My name is Jovana Vujnic. I'm your host. And if you've been listening to my previous episodes, last episode we tackled, maybe second to last, we tackled step 1 of the Bumper Blueprint, which is all about finding the leaks. We looked at where follow-up breaks down and where valuable opportunities disappear. And for a lot of businesses, that's a big moment. Because once you see the leaks, the panic usually sets in. And you probably tell yourself, do I need to throw everything out and start again? And the answer is almost always no, you don't have to do that. So step 2 of the Bumper Blueprint is about cleaning up your lead flow and fixing the path your leads travel without rebuilding the entire house. So let's start with one of the most common mistakes I see when I speak to any business, whether it's e-commerce, whether it's a service business, they all have similar issues. So when systems actually feel fragmented and they're out of sync, the instinct is usually to go shopping, to go and look for a new CRM, look for a new platform that you're going to be using, moving away from old systems to a new system. You think the grass is greener on the other side, maybe rebuilding a new funnel. Yep, a lot of businesses tend to do that. Oh, we need a new opt-in, we need a new lead magnet, we need a new promotion. But here's what actually happens. You take this fragmented process and you move it into a shiny new tool. Now, it looks much better because the interface is probably better, but it still doesn't work. So let me give you a quick example. A consulting business that came to us saying, we need better systems. Basically, they had leads coming from their website, LinkedIn, referrals. They couldn't keep up with the leads. They were just flooding their database. And they already have a CRM. They've invested in a CRM. But when we looked closer, we saw that there was no clear ownership. No one knew who should follow up with this lead, who should be assigned this lead, when they should follow up, or what happened after the first conversation. So leads were sitting there, doing nothing. No one's touching them. Not because the system was broken, but because the process wasn't clear. So now, instead of having these fragmented inboxes, they had a very organized CRM full of ignored leads. So more structure, but same problem. So step 2 of the Bumper Blueprint starts here. Basically, we need to simplify what already exists before adding anything new. Because most businesses already have all the pieces. They just aren't connected properly, which brings us to an important question. What do we actually mean by lead flow? It's simply the journey someone takes from I'm interested to I'm a customer. But when you slow it down, a few questions come up. What happens when someone downloads your guide? Who actually sees that inquiry? What happens if your team is busy and doesn't respond for 2 or 3 days? And if that honest answer is depends, then your customer experience depends on luck. And that's not a system. You can't scale that. That's actually a bottleneck. So now once we understand the journey, we can start to improve it. So let me share something we see all the time with different businesses. A business says, we need more leads. So we look at what's happening. We look at behind the scenes. And what we find is they already have leads coming in. Website forms, referrals, LinkedIn messages, Facebook messages. But no one is really owning those leads. So they all sit in some inbox. Doesn't have to be a mailbox, any inbox. Some get a reply once, some get forgotten completely. And when we map it out, there's actually no clear path. It's not a lead problem. It's basically a flow problem. And once they see that, everything changes. Because now we're not chasing more leads. You're not spending more money on advertising or spending more time on networking. We're fixing what's already there. So you already have those leads coming. People are finding you. They just need a way for you to keep in touch and stay front of mind with them. So now this is where AI and automation come in. But only after the flow is clear, not before. Because here's what happens when you skip this step, and we've seen this happen all the time. I've seen businesses install chatbots. They capture leads, and then what? Where does it go? Nothing happens. No follow-up, no routing, no next step. So now they're collecting leads, and they're still technically losing them, right? Just a bit faster. AI just makes it a bit faster. Let me show you what good looks like. So imagine a business like, let's assume a fictional business like Harborview Accounting. The team is busy, calls are coming in, they go to voicemail. Well, that's a lost opportunity, right? Now introduce a voice agent. It answers the call, explains the service, books a call directly into the calendar. No delay and no missed opportunity. And here's another example. Think about your website. This is the most common thing you can do. Applies to everyone. Most businesses expect people to figure things out on their own. Click here, read this, try to understand what we do. There's so much information there. But an AI concierge can simply ask, hey, are you looking for bookkeeping help or strategic advice? And then guide them instantly. Less friction and better experience. And this is the part most businesses miss. If someone visits your pricing page multiple times but doesn't take any action, right now nothing happens. But a simple system could trigger a message like, hey Sarah, noticed you were looking at our advisory packages. Happy to answer any questions. That's not aggressive. That's very helpful. And this is really important because this is where things go wrong. When businesses automate before fixing lead flow, they create new problems. You start seeing things like duplicate follow-ups from different team members. This could be in emails or messages or SMSs. Leads getting too many messages or none at all. Customers repeating themselves multiple times. Automation triggering at the wrong moment. I've even seen businesses send a welcome sequence after someone already became a client, or nurture emails while a deal is already being negotiated. Yeah, that's a bit scary. From the outside, it feels disconnected, and from the customer's perspective, it feels like the business isn't aligned. So this is why lead flow isn't just about operations. It's your brand, not just your logo or colors. It's your response time, your follow-up. That's actually your brand in action. If someone reaches out and hears nothing, that becomes their experience of you, of your business. But if they get a quick response, a clear next step, and feel guided, trust builds immediately. And trust is what converts, as we know. So you might be asking yourself, what happens if you get this right? Basically, if you get this right, you're no longer relying on memory. Or you're physically not chasing your team internally or chatting on Slack, wondering what happened to that lead. You remove what I call a human glue, that fragile system where everything depends on someone remembering. Instead, you create structure, leads move forward, customers feel looked after, and your business works even when you're not watching it every minute. You move from reactive to reliable. So if step 1 was about finding the leaks, then step 2 is about creating smooth pathways. You don't need a new CRM or a new platform. You don't need to rebuild anything. You just need a better flow, a better experience for your customers. And if you're listening to this and thinking, okay, I can see the gaps, but I'm not sure how to map this properly, you're not alone. I see this all the time. This is exactly where most businesses get stuck because it's not just one thing. It's your systems, it's your tech, it's your marketing, it's your sales process, it's your team, and how it all connects. How all of that connects is really hard to figure out. So if you want help working through your lead flow before you start adding any more tools or automation platforms, or before you start signing up to technology, and thinking N8N or Make is gonna make my life better, I'd be happy to walk through it with you. You can head to bumperleads.com and book a chat with me. We'll look at what's happening in your business, where leads are getting stuck, and what needs to be simplified before anything new gets added. Next episode, we'll move into step 3 of the Bumper Blueprint, removing the clutter that slows everything down. Until then, stay curious, stay human, and keep building systems that support your business. Thanks for listening to the Bumper Blueprint podcast.